Joining me in studio is Father Mike Knotek, who is the Executive Secretary for the Priest Placement Board for the Archdiocese. Father Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. You and I, this is not a first meeting. We've known each other for years, so I'm glad to have you with us.
Great.
Listen, you just got some new material to work with, as it were.
Yes, thank God.
Eight newly ordained priests for the Archdiocese. You had a hand in working out what parishes they would go to for their first assignments. Mm-hmm. So you know the men.
I do.
They're a great group.
They're a very good group. Yeah, we're blessed. It's a sign of our vitality as an archdiocese.
Before our taping, you made a point of a little bit of trivia about them. They're all from different countries?
Well, most of them. Yeah, most of them are from different countries, which, as you can imagine, to leave your family and your familiar surroundings to come here, completely pull up roots. You know, that's a real sacrifice, but a sign of their zeal.
Yeah, to come here and to give of their lives in a land that's not their own.
Right.
It says an awful lot about them.
It does. Yeah.
So, Father Mike, for the Priest Placement Board, for those men, for all the priests in the Archdiocese, just for our viewers, maybe explain a little bit about what the Priest Placement Board is.
Well, the Priest Placement Board there are 9 priests on it, including myself. Mm-hmm. 8 of them are full-time pastors, and then my full-time ministry is working with the priests on advising Cardinal Supich on where each priest in the Archdiocese should be stationed or appointed for his ministry. So, as you could imagine, that takes a lot of prayer, a lot of discernment, a lot of conversation, because we don't want to, just put people somewhere. We want to match their skills and talents with the need of a specific parish.
Talk a little bit more about that, because it's not just that you throw a dart at a dartboard. That's the joke.
A lot of people think
exactly.
So.
But this is a prayerful process, isn't it?
It is. And it requires a lot of soul searching. And then it requires a lot of hard work on our part, because especially for the newly ordained, they have to start out in a really, vibrant parish to get the best example of parish with a pastor who's going to be a strong mentor for them.
I would think that would be terribly important. This is where they will learn how to be pastors, how to be priests in a parish setting. Yeah.
So we look at their individual skills and talents, and we have to kind of, pay attention to. For instance, language is a big one. So if there's a need for Spanish-speaking, Polish, and other languages, and at the same time, they oftentimes want to balance, between that and the percentage of people in the parish that are of a particular ethnicity, and in general. So it's not necessarily that a Hispanic priest always goes to a Hispanic parish. There could be other reasons why. Even though he speaks Spanish and they don't have a Spanish Mass there are certain gifts he can give and certain things he can learn. Yeah,
depending, as you say, on the needs of the community.
Right.
That I think that is key to really finding the best fit, right? Right. And knowing the gifts of the men who are being placed. Now, this isn't just for newly ordained.
No, it's a different process. So for pastors, it's a very different process. For pastors, first of all, we meet with the pastor to talk to him about how he feels the Lord is calling him to serve in the future. So he may say, I feel comfortable in a parish very similar to the one that I've come from. Or he can say, I'm looking for something different. It might be, I'm ready for something a lot bigger.
Right.
Or he may say, I was at a huge mega parish, and I think next time I want a smaller parish. It could be something that he has certain gifts, for instance, for language or whatever it is, that haven't been utilized yet, and he wants to utilize those skills. And again, we encourage him to talk to his spiritual director, talk to his good friends, to talk to the people in the parish that he's at now, because they know him well, and to say, where would you feel God is calling me, to serve in the future?
Really?
Yeah.
The involvement of the people in this process then is probably more than many people think.
It's very important. Yeah. And so what we do when we're looking to place a new pastor, we go to the parish and we have 3 meetings. First, it's myself, a member of the Priest Placement Board, and then the local vicar bishop and the dean, usually. And we go to the parish, we have 3 meetings. The first is with the staff, The second is with the parish leadership, so that's the parish council,
Sure.
finance committee. And then in the evening, we have a town hall meeting for anybody who would like to come. And we ask 3 basic questions of those groups. 1, what are the strengths of your parish? What's going really well here? Number 2, what are the particular unique challenges of your parish? Every parish has challenges.
Yep.
And then number 3, what are the specific skills needed in your next pastor? So, what was needed in the parish even 10 years ago
Might not be
the same now, because things change, So it's very important to pay attention to that. And some people are skeptical about those meetings. They think this is just for show or to make it look like, but we really do depend on that. And we give out forms so that people can even bring it home, think about it, and mail it back to us. And, we spend several months poring over that input, because nobody knows better about a parish than the people of God.
Yep.
And so the priests can't pick where they're going to serve, but we want them to have input. So they're encouraged to go to the parish and talk to the present pastor who's going to be leaving, to talk to the staff, to talk to the parish council, the finance committee people, and to talk to people at the archdiocese about, the vitality of the parish. We always say whatever's working well in the parish, the next guy has to keep that momentum up.
Yep.
Okay. And then there may be things that need attention. Well, who's going to have what it takes to be able to...
The gifts.
Yeah, to take on those challenges and not be overwhelmed by them, but to be able to, head at those challenges and do something with them.
Yeah,
overcome them.
To meet them, to resolve them in a life-giving way for the
Exactly.
parish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not. This process then really is. It's a long process, and it's not entered into lightly.
No, it's not.
Well, that's a wonderful ministry that you give to the archdiocese. It's terribly important, and you rely on those other 8 pastors.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that they have to have a good sense of the archdiocese, of the parishes.
Exactly, because they're accompanying these priests, and they're also available to go out to the parishes and talk to the people. And
I like that. They accompany. Yeah. There's an awful lot of talk about accompaniment these days. The Pope talks about accompanying those who are on the margins, accompanying those who are in the process of getting married. It's nice to hear that our priests are accompanied as well. Yeah,
in the old days, priests really didn't get a choice about where they were going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what determined where they were going to go. And it's very different now, and it has to be.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most satisfying parts about this ministry for me, is to walk with priests and have them share with me, the calling that they have and what comes out of their prayer life for how God wants them to serve. And some of it can be painful too, because they may have had a rough go at it, or they may be feeling inferior in certain ways. So the other part that we're really getting better at in the last few years is to, if a priest has certain areas of ministry that aren't strong for him, then we're connecting him to resources whereby he can get better at that.
Yeah.
As Cardinal Superch likes to say, the Pastoral Center is a service center for pastors. So it's not the place that just says,
it's not just
make sure they're towing
bureaucracy,
the line.
right?
Yeah, or bureaucracy.
Right.
But to say, how can we help pastors effectively minister in their parish, and pastorally as well as administratively?
And it strikes me that you would do that well. A vitally important ministry in the Archdiocese of Chicago. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for this time.